This video will be a full tour and documentation of this 1995 Ford F-250 XLT SuperCab.
It has a two-tone Oxford white and Calypso green metallic exterior paint scheme.
The door panels do have some storage areas, and you do have power windows and power door locks on this one. You can also open the quarter windows as vents.
This opal gray interior has cloth seats, with an awesome two-tone contrast to go along with that two-tone exterior paint.
Now the front seats are, for the most part, manually adjustable, but you do have power lumbar support. And now that we're behind the wheel, it's time we fire up that renowned 7.3 Power Stroke.
Dating back to 1948, the Ford F-Series has been not only the best-selling pickup truck, but also the best-selling vehicle in general in the US for decades. The F-Series is incredibly popular, and there's one for just about everyone. No matter what someone may need a truck for, be it towing, recreational use, off-roading, construction work, and so on, there's more than likely an F-Series that will perfectly suit the needs of any buyer who's interested in a Ford truck. It currently ranges from the light-duty half-ton F-150, which is the most popular of all the way up to the commercial Class 7 F-750. This 1995 model we have here represents the 9th generation of the light-duty F-Series. As you can tell by looking at it from the side especially, its basic platform and design actually date back to the 7th gen trucks, which had been made since 1980. The truck was revamped for its 8th generation in the mid-1980s, and again for its 9th generation in 1992, giving it a restyled interior and a more smoothed-out front fascia. 9th gen F-Series trucks would be produced in some form up until 1997. This was also the last generation for the F-150 to have the same styling as its F-250 and 350 counterparts, as for 1997 the F-150 got a drastic redesign, and then 1999 saw the all-new F-Series Super Duty debut with unique styling to the then-current F-150. The heavier-duty trucks have had a different look than the F-150 ever since. But for the 1995 model year, all light-duty F-Series variants were still of the 9th generation. In the 95 light-duty F-Series range, not counting the F600 and up, which you could argue weren't really 9th gens, I'll explain what I mean in a caption right here, you had the half-ton F-150, the 3/4-ton F-250 and F-250 HD, the 1-ton F-350, and the Class 4 F Super Duty, which is basically the precursor to the F-450. In the latter half of 1994, a certain new engine became available for the light-duty F-Series lineup, and that engine was none other than the first iteration of the Power Stroke diesel. The new 7.3-liter Power Stroke, which is what this truck has, was designed by Navistar International, and is a modified version of the International T444E, which was used in medium-duty trucks, buses, and the like. The cutting-edge 7.3 power-stroke direct-injected turbo-diesel V8 ended up becoming a legend, still beloved to this day for its outstanding reliability. Several other engines were also available, one of which was a behemoth 460 cubic inch or 7.5 liter big block gas V8. Competitors for this truck in '95 included the usual ones, the Dodge Ram 2500 and the Chevrolet CK 2500.
Gotta love it. This is back when diesel engines were nice and loud still. The instrument cluster houses 6 analog gauges, including your tachometer, speedometer, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, oil pressure gauge, and charging voltage gauge. Digital odometer. The hazard switch is on top of the steering column. It has a leather-wrapped 2-spoke design steering wheel. It does house your cruise control, and it does have a tilt steering wheel. The parking brake is foot operated. Your fuse panel right here, air vent for the driver. Your headlight switch. Got the switch to switch between which fuel tank you're using. And you've got your high beam, turn signal, and wiper stalk right here. Column gear shifter. Going down the center of the interior, got some storage right here. Got the original AM/FM radio with a cassette player. Your very simple single zone climate controls, your fan speed, temperature, different zones. Got a power outlet, lighter, an ashtray, or storage, another power outlet. Your 4-wheel drive lever. This one has a center console. You have 2 cup holders, along with some storage with a removable tray. Both front seats do have armrests. The passenger sun visor does have a vanity mirror, while the driver's one does have this little strap so where you can keep things in place. Manually dimming rear view mirror. You also got your old school dome light. And now, let's go ahead and roll down the driver's window and have a look at the engine bay.
It has 16-inch steel rims and locking front hubs. At the heart of this F-250 is the legendary Power-Stroke turbo-diesel 7.3-liter V8 engine. This overhead valve power plant with direct injection and 2 valves per cylinder produces 215 horsepower at 3,000 RPM and 425 pound-feet of torque at a low 2,000 RPM. This engine is paired to a 4-speed automatic transmission with low gear selection, and this F-250 does have 4-wheel drive. Now, trucks like this are not rated by the EPA, but this thing does have 2 fuel tanks, which is definitely handy. It has an independent twin traction beam front suspension and a solid rear axle with leaf springs. It also has front disc brakes and rear drum brakes.
Now this is an extended cab, but it does not have back doors. So instead, to get to the back seat, you just pull this lever, and with ease, the front seat will slide forward just like that, allowing for pretty easy access to the back. Alright, now we're in the back seat of the F-250, or F-Series SuperCab. Now, as someone who's about 6 foot tall, legroom is not that great. I actually cannot get the driver's seat to its furthest back position without being completely cramped. And headroom is just alright. My head is actually touching the roof. Not the most spacious, but of course they did make a crew cab, which, having been in this generation of F-Series crew cab before, I can say it is definitely more spacious than this, and for a lot smaller people, of course this back seat is going to be sufficient. On either side here, you have cup holders and little storage areas. Both front seats do have storage pockets on the backs. Now this truck has 2 fuel tanks, and both caps are located on the driver's side. Single exhaust.
This one, I'm pretty sure, is the long bed variant.
Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 1995 Ford F-250. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.